You sit in the meeting room watching your manager present your idea. Badly. He is explaining the proposal you spent 3 weeks refining. But the logic is mangled. The core insight is gone. He is saying words that sound similar to yours, but the meaning has been gutted. You watch him gesture confidently at slides you built. You watch the room nod along. Somehow, impossibly, he gets applause. Later, when the meeting ends, you approach him. You try to clarify. You try to add the context he missed. He cuts you off mid-sentence. His face hardens. He says something dismissive. Something that makes you sound pedantic. You realize in that moment, standing there with your mouth half open, that this was not a misunderstanding. He did not fail to grasp your idea. He buried it, on purpose. Why does this keep happening? Why does competence not protect you? Why do the sharpest observations, the clearest solutions, the most careful reasoning get absorbed into the void of someone else's mediocrity? You have watched it occur again and again. The person above you takes credit when things go right and deflects blame when they go wrong. They promote people who agree with them and sideline people who outthink them. They do not reward intelligence, they punish it. Here is the truth most people will never accept. Incompetent leaders do not fail by accident. They succeed by design. Their survival depends not on solving problems, but on eliminating threats. And you, if you are competent, are a threat. Your manager does not misunderstand your ideas. He understands them perfectly. He understands that if you are right, he is exposed. If you are brilliant, he is ordinary. If you speak clearly, his vagueness becomes visible. So he does what any cornered animal does. He attacks, not with honesty, with bureaucracy, with confusion, with positioning. The system does not reward those who solve problems. It rewards those who protect themselves. Schopenhauer saw this clearly. He watched mediocrities rise through institutions while men of talent were suppressed. He understood that the majority of people do not seek truth. They seek comfort. And nothing is more comfortable than surrounding yourself with people who make you look competent by comparison. Stupid bosses do not hire the best. They hire the harmless. They do not promote the sharpest. They promote the loyal. Intelligence is dangerous. Mediocrity is safe. You are not paranoid. You are observant. What you are witnessing is not dysfunction. It is function. The cascade of incompetence is not a bug. It is the feature. You have watched it happen. The person who actually does the work stays exactly where they are. The person who talks about the work rises. You have sat in meetings where the one who solves problems is ignored, and the one who restates those problems in confident language is praised. You have seen it so many times you stopped being surprised. But you never stopped wondering why. Here is the answer. Competence is not rewarded because competence is threatening. The person who understands more than you makes you feel smaller. The person who solves what you cannot solve reminds everyone that you are unnecessary. And no one promotes the person who makes them feel unnecessary. Schopenhauer saw this with perfect clarity. He understood that most people do not want truth. They do not want efficiency. They do not want someone who makes their job easier. What they want is comfort. They want to feel secure in their position. They want to believe they matter. And the fastest way to shatter that belief is to stand next to someone who is objectively better at what you pretend to do. So they do not promote that person. They promote the one who reassures them, the one who nods, the one who speaks their language and never threatens their position, the one who makes them feel intelligent by never being too intelligent himself. This is the Peter principle. People rise to the level of their incompetence. But the principle is incomplete. It tells you what happens. It does not tell you why. The why is darker. People do not rise despite their incompetence. They rise because of it. Think about the engineer. He automates half the department. He writes the system that makes 10 people obsolete. He saves the company a fortune. And his manager looks at him and feels afraid. Because if the engineer is this good, what does that say about the manager? The manager cannot explain what the engineer does. He cannot take credit for it in a way that makes him look essential. So he does not promote him. He sidelines him. He finds reasons why the engineer is difficult to work with. Not a team player. Too focused on the technical side. Lacks leadership skills. Meanwhile, the other one talks. He contributes nothing measurable. He has no skills the manager does not have. But he shows up to every meeting. He repeats what the manager says in slightly different words. He laughs at the right moments. He never makes anyone feel stupid. And within 2 years, he is director. You think this is an accident. It is not. It is selection. The system selects for people who do not threaten it. Competence threatens. Incompetence soothes. The manager promotes the one who makes him feel safe, and that one, when he becomes manager, does the same. He promotes another version of himself. Someone less threatening, someone easier to control, someone who will never outshine him. This is not corruption. This is not even malice. This is survival instinct. The mediocre recognize each other. They protect each other. They build entire structures designed to keep the competent out and the incompetent in. And they do this without meeting in secret. Without planning. They do it because it feels right. Because surrounding yourself with people who make you feel adequate is easier than surrounding yourself with people who remind you that you are not. Now ask yourself what happens when this runs for decades. When every level of leadership is selected not for ability, but for non-threatening mediocrity. When the entire organization becomes a monument to avoiding discomfort. When no one at the top can even recognize competence anymore because they have spent so long rewarding its opposite. You walk into the meeting with a solution. Not a theory, not a vague suggestion. A real strategy that would save the company time, money, and the mounting chaos everyone pretends not to see. You present it clearly. You answer the questions. You watch your manager nod along, smile even, and then something shifts. Not in what he says, in what he does not say. He thanks you. He tells you he will think about it. And then, 2 weeks later, you discover he has assigned your idea to someone else. Someone less experienced. Someone who will not execute it correctly. Someone who, inevitably, will fail. 6 months pass. The project collapses. Your manager presents the failure to upper management as evidence that the approach does not work. He shakes his head with measured disappointment. He never mentions your name. You are never consulted again. And here is the part that cuts deepest. This was not an accident. This was the plan. Schopenhauer understood something about human nature that most people refuse to accept. He saw that mediocrity does not simply tolerate incompetence. It requires it. A man who knows he does not deserve his position will do anything to protect it. Not through excellence. Through elimination. He does not want solutions. He wants loyalty. He does not want intelligence. He wants visibility. And above all, he does not want anyone near him who might, even accidentally, expose what he truly is. This is what psychologists now call defensive incompetence. It is not ignorance. It is strategy. The stupid boss does not misunderstand your competence. He recognizes it immediately. And he sees it for what it truly represents: a threat. Because if you succeed where he has failed, If you solve what he could not solve, if you demonstrate clarity where he has only ever offered confusion, then the comparison becomes unavoidable, and comparisons for the insecure are unbearable. So he does what any frightened animal does. He removes the threat, not loudly, not obviously. He simply ensures you are never in a position to shine again. He reassigns your projects. He excludes you from meetings. He praises you in words while burying you in irrelevance. And if you protest, if you point out what is happening, you become difficult. You become the problem. Because the one thing a stupid boss cannot afford is for others to see what you see. Think about the people around you in that moment, the colleagues who watch this unfold. Do they intervene? Do they speak up? No, they stay silent. Not because they are cowards, though some are, but because they understand something you are only beginning to learn. In a system run by incompetence, competence is not rewarded. It is punished, and those who align themselves with competence are punished alongside it. So they lower their heads. They nod along. They tell themselves it is not their concern, and the machinery of mediocrity continues uninterrupted. Your manager does not lie awake at night, troubled by what he has done to you. He sleeps soundly, because in his mind he has protected the organization. He has maintained stability. He has ensured that no one disrupts the delicate equilibrium of managed failure that keeps him employed. And the company slowly begins its descent, not because it lacks talent, but because talent in the hands of the insecure becomes the first thing to go. You have watched it happen. A company everyone admired begins to decay. The best people leave first, the products degrade, the customers notice, the stock price wobbles, and the person responsible, the one who set the fire, gets promoted, or stays in place, or leaves with a golden parachute while the wreckage smolders behind him. You wonder how this is possible. You wonder why no one stopped it. You wonder if anyone even noticed. They noticed. They always notice. But noticing is not the same as acting. And acting requires something most organizations cannot afford: the willingness to admit they were wrong. Here is what Schopenhauer understood about this centuries ago. He saw that institutions do not reward competence. They reward the appearance of competence. And the appearance of competence is easiest to maintain when you never admit doubt, never change course, never acknowledge failure. The incompetent boss survives not despite his failures, but because of them. He has no internal conflict, no hesitation, no self-awareness to slow him down. He projects certainty. And certainty, even when it is delusional, is more comforting than the truth. This is the cascade of incompetence. It begins at the top and flows downward like poison through the veins of an organization. The CEO hires a consultant who tells him exactly what he wants to hear. The consultant ignores the data-driven report from the internal team. The team sees this. They understand what it means. The smart ones leave. The opportunists stay and learn the game. They stop presenting honest assessments. They stop challenging assumptions. They start mirroring the boss. They speak his language. They confirm his biases. They become miniature versions of him. And when they are promoted, they hire people even less competent than themselves. Because competent subordinates are a threat. Incompetent ones are safe. You have seen this. The talented analyst who keeps pointing out the flaws in the strategy. She is not promoted. She is sidelined. Eventually she quits. Meanwhile, the yes man who nods enthusiastically at every terrible idea rises through the ranks. You watch this and think it is irrational. It is not. It is perfectly rational. The organization is not trying to succeed. It is trying to survive. And survival in this context, means avoiding the humiliation of admitting the leadership was wrong. The board renews the CEO's contract, not because the company is thriving. It is bleeding talent, market share, and revenue. But the CEO is confident, charismatic. He never admits a mistake. He blames the market. He blames the competition. He blames the previous leadership. He presents a new vision every quarter. The board looks at him and sees a man in control. They look at the data and see complexity, ambiguity, risk. Which would you rather believe in? The confident man or the uncertain numbers? The majority chooses the man, every time. Because the alternative is terrifying. The alternative is admitting they made a mistake when they hired him. Admitting they ignored the warning signs. Admitting they have no idea how to fix what he broke. So they double down. They give him more time, more resources, more authority. They tell themselves the strategy just needs more time to work. They tell themselves the market will turn. They tell themselves he is learning from his mistakes. They do not believe any of this. But belief is not required. Only the appearance of belief. This is why organizations tolerate and reward destruction. Not because they are blind, because they are trapped. The incompetent boss is safer than the competent one. He will never make them confront their own complicity. He will never force them to admit they were wrong. He will let them pretend everything is fine until the very end. And when the end comes, he will have moved on. And they will hire someone just like him. Because the system is not designed to find the truth. It is designed to avoid it. You will spend years doing this. You will stay late when others leave early. You will refine the presentation one more time. You will volunteer for the project no one else wants. And you will believe, because you were raised to believe, that excellence is visible, that merit rises, that someone is watching. No one is watching. Or worse, they are watching, and what they see terrifies them. Your competence is not an asset in their eyes. It is a threat. So they will promote the mediocre one. The one who laughs at their jokes. The one who never questions. The one who makes them feel intelligent by being just slightly less so. And you will sit in that meeting, watching it happen, and you will tell yourself it is temporary. It is not temporary. This is the structure. You will waste years waiting for fairness in a system designed by and for people who fear it. Stop waiting. The game is not rigged against you. The game was never designed for you in the first place. Your mistake was thinking it was. Schopenhauer saw this clearly. The world is not rational. It is driven by will, blind, irrational, self-preserving will. The incompetent boss does not survive despite his stupidity. He survives because of it. He has no vision to defend, no principles to compromise, no competence to protect. He flatters, he endures. And the system rewards endurance over excellence every single time. You cannot fix this. You cannot outwork it. You cannot make them see, so stop trying. Your liberation is not in changing them. It is in seeing them exactly as they are and refusing to let their game define your worth. Extract what you need. Learn the skills. Take the paycheck. Build the network. But never, never mistake the organization for something sacred. It is not your family. It is not your identity. It is a temporary arrangement between you and people who would replace you in a week if it served them. Treat it accordingly. Stay detached, stay clear. Do your work, but do not give them your soul. Save that for something that deserves it. Most people never make this distinction. They fuse their identity with their role. They let the job define them. And when the job discards them, and it will, they discard themselves. You are different. You can see what they cannot. You can accept what they will spend a lifetime denying. The majority will keep believing the myth. They will keep sacrificing. They will keep waiting for the moment when their loyalty is rewarded, their effort recognized, their brilliance undeniable. That moment does not come. You already know this. The question is whether you will act like you know it. Do you still believe good work speaks for itself, or are you finally ready to stop speaking their language?